I, male 30, was married for about 6 years before finalizing a divorce with my ex, female 32, a few years back. We share a son together who is 4 years old. When we split, we agreed that I would have him during the school year and she would get him in the summer. Earlier last year, she announced she was pregnant and our son was thrilled. Meanwhile, me and my fiancé, male 28, have been looking to find a surrogate to also add to our family. As my ex-wife progressed through her pregnancy, she claimed that dealing with our son and her new baby would be too much for her. She wanted to sign away her rights to our son. I did not think it was the best thing to do because our son was old enough to be attached to his mother, but she insisted. So I legally have all rights to my son. My fiancé is planning on trying to adopt him once we get married. Lucky for us, a friend reached out and offered to carry a child for me and my future husband. We agreed, and we got the news a few months later that she was pregnant. Our pregnancy was about 3 months behind my ex-wife's. I do let her parents see my son frequently because they had no say in her signing away her rights. Of course, my son is excited to have a sibling from our side, so his grandparents told his daughter. Since then, it's been a bit hell. My ex-wife has non-stop harassed us about copying her. She accused us of having a baby out of spite. I've tried not to let it get to me, but I've always wanted a big family, and I thought when I got divorced, I lost my chance. Unfortunately, my ex-wife gave birth to a stillborn. I gave my condolences because the loss of a child can be so upsetting. My sister reached out to her as well because they had been close while we were married. My daughter was born a few months after this happened, and we made one announcement on social media about it. My fiancé and I are pretty quiet people, and we don't like attention. We just wanted to let friends and family know that we had a healthy baby girl. My ex-wife, her parents, her boyfriend, and her extended side of the family have not stopped harassing my family about bragging about our child when my ex-wife was clearly in pain over losing hers. I'll be honest, my ex-wife's feelings were not considered when we announced the arrival. I was just overjoyed to have a new addition. So I'm here to ask your opinion. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole at all. Your ex, on the other hand, signing away rights to her child when another one is on the way, that's a horrible thing to do. Not the a-hole, not the a-hole, not the a-hole. I can't say it enough. Your ex signed away her rights to her child and now harasses you for getting on with your life? There's something very wrong there. Whilst her stillbirth was tragic, it was not your fault, or anyone else's for that matter. You cannot be expected to walk on eggshells for the rest of your life just in case she gets upset. Bragging would be if you sent her a ton of pictures. You didn't. You posted on your own social media about a joyous occasion. She is just bitter that your life is going smoothly, and hers isn't. Block her. Block her boyfriend. If you're wanting to stay in touch with the parents for the benefit of your eldest, I would communicate with them that any discussion about anything other than their grandchild will be ignored or shut down. Not the a-hole. On the other hand, I feel horrible for your ex-wife. Giving birth to a stillborn must be so incredibly painful, and I cannot imagine her grief. That aside, your ex-wife signed away rights to her young son because she thought it would be too hard to have 2 kids. She didn't even have primary custody of her son, and instead of trying to work out an agreement with you that would help her manage any difficulty, she literally chose to terminate her rights well before she even gave birth. Let me be crystal clear here. Her choice to do what she did as far as your son does not in any way make her deserving of the stillborn birth that came later. But harassing you and getting her family in on the action after one social media announcement about your baby. I'm sure there's so much grief involved, but this crosses the line in so many ways. Block them, all of them. You can, if you want, make it clear to your ex's parents that they are still welcome to see your son, but you will not tolerate this kind of harassment being delivered to you and your family, which includes the son your ex-wife no longer wanted to parent. And if they can't respect that, they will no longer have a relationship with their grandson. My 27 male, wife, 26 female, loves to cook. It's like a hobby of hers. She likes looking for new recipes and things to try. She always gets so excited when she makes something new. I mean, when we go grocery shopping each week, she's even excited about the prospects of the groceries. It's honestly adorable how much she can talk about zucchini. She hates dishes. While I don't love them, I don't really mind them either. So she usually cooks dinner every night and I'll do the dishes. This arrangement works for us. She'll also make both of our lunches for work. Yesterday she packed me some leftover ravioli that she made with a salad thing as well. She also likes to leave little notes with my lunch telling me she loves me and to have a great day. Honestly, these still make my day every time I read them, even though she leaves them every day. Anyway, I was eating my lunch during break, and my new coworker, 30s female, only been here a couple of weeks, sat down and gestured to my food and said, "That smells good." I said thanks, and that my wife always makes the most amazing food. I do like to brag about her, She's absolutely fantastic, and I saw this as a chance to talk someone new's ear off instead of my usual coworkers. She asked if my wife always makes my food, and I said usually she cooks dinner and breakfast and then packs leftovers for lunch. Then I started on this spiel about all the things she does for me, like starting the coffee pot in the morning, even though she doesn't drink coffee, or sometimes she'll take my towel when I'm showering and warm it in the dryer. I was just overall talking about how amazing she is, and I pulled out my phone to show her a picture. My coworker cuts me off and said something like, "You can't be serious." I asked what she meant by that, and then she started saying I'm treating my wife like a mother and bragging about it. We started arguing about it, and she ended up calling me an a-hole for expecting women to cater to me. I absolutely do not expect, nor do I ask my wife to do any of the things she does for me. I just love it when she does. I like knowing that she cares. So, am I the a-hole? Edit to clarify a couple of things. My wife isn't a housewife. She has a job. Also, while I only mention the things my wife does in the post, that doesn't mean I don't do things for her too. I do my absolute best to spoil her right back. Edit 2. It seems like people are thinking that I only love my wife because she does things for me. This isn't true, but I do appreciate what she does. She's kind, funny, smart, compassionate, hardworking, determined, beautiful, and just an overall amazing person. That's why I fell in love with her. Also, I do not see why what I do for her is relevant to the post, but a lot of people are asking. I do my best to take as many things as she's willing to let off of her plate. If I know something needs to be done and she hates doing it, I'll do it for her so she doesn't have to, or ask for me to do it. I buy her flowers and books on a regular basis. She loves to read. I'll make tea for her, just like she starts my coffee. These are the things that popped into my head first, but it's not an all-inclusive list. I am well aware my wife absolutely spoils me. I do attempt to make her feel as loved and cared for as I do. Not the a-hole. It's fantastic that you want to brag about the relationship you have and that you appreciate what your wife does for you. But I really, really hope you do things for her too, and give back the same amount of thoughtfulness your wife gives you. I'm gonna go against the grain and say no a-hole, because I would also side-eye a man who, when bragging about his wife, only talks about the things she does for him and not anything about her as a person. Yeah, it's nice when someone loves to do something, but all you mentioned are just, things she does for you that does sound like mothering. I'm sure your wife is happy to do these things for you. I'm not trying to say she's forced or anything. Just that for me, as a 31 female, I understand what your coworker heard. You're not the a-hole, just somewhat annoying. No one, and I mean no one, asking about your food is looking for a verbal essay on your wife's virtues. Your coworker is the a-hole for letting it become an argument instead of just tactfully avoiding you from then on. But I'm surprised you're not used to getting pissy reactions to that behavior. You hit a lot of sensitive areas that are bound to be upsetting a number of people subjected to the adoration, especially someone you don't even know. Like, even in here, people are congratulating you for getting a good one. That's ducked up, but to be expected. You know, it sounds like you're aware your coworkers might be sick of it, but it's time to learn most people don't like hearing others brag about the affection they receive, or take it the way you want them to. It isn't a playground game of my mom is better than your mom. My husband and I have an age gap of 22 years, and I'm used to negative comments about it. But I'm still not used to dealing with people who mess with my intellect and achievements, and that's what happened the other day. It was my mother-in-law's birthday, and when everyone started drinking, one of his stepbrothers started saying that I shouldn't drink because I'm not old enough for that yet. I'm 23, and things like that. One of them even joked that I should sit at the children's table, and my husband told him to shut up, but obviously he didn't, so I defended myself, and I told him that if I was a little girl and he was an adult, why do I earn the same per month as he earns in 3 months? Or why he lost 3 jobs in the same year, while I, a little girl according to him, was promoted to a position even higher than my husband's. We work in the same place, and that made everyone mad at me for being a braggart brat. According to them, what I said was wrong because I know that his family suffered a lot when he lost those jobs. Even my sister-in-law told me what I did was wrong because when he lost his last job, he also lost his apartment and his car, and that he was depressed for months because of it, and that I was having witchy behavior just because someone made a joke. And to be honest, I don't think I said something bad, but I would like to know what you think. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Jokes are supposed to be funny and end with everyone laughing and no one hurt. Brother-in-law was not joking, and if he can't take it, then he shouldn't put it out there. Everyone sucks here. Your in-laws were way out of line. This was immature on your part, however. During a time in your life when you are trying to level up, you shot yourself in the foot. Everyone sucks here. You are married to a guy twice your age. You need to get some thicker skin, because his comments were nothing. While his jokes weren't funny, and he was asked to stop, his comments were not a personal attack the way yours was. It certainly didn't make you seem more mature. if that's what you were going for. Your sister-in-law is right. You were looking for a reason to brag about how you're so much more successful, and that was just childish. This is a horrible situation, and I might have ruined my entire relationship with my in-laws, but I just want to hear an outside perspective to see if I made a mistake. I, female 28, lost my son Thomas. He was only 2 months and 9 days old. He passed away of acute bronchiolitis. He was given Pediacare and he passed away shortly. It was hard and exhausting to bear. I had my family with me most of the time. My in-laws would visit from time to time since they're busy planning for my brother-in-law's wedding. His fiancée visited me at my house, which was really nice of her, even though my brother-in-law would tell us he was busy, but he had to show up with her. A few days ago, my mother-in-law wanted me to go over to her house to take my input in regard of my brother-in-law's wedding planning, but I told her I wasn't in the mood for that. I apologized several times, and it clearly got to my brother-in-law. He visited me at my house alone, which was unusual, and talked about my son, and said it was expected since my son was suffering from other health issues. He said that I still can have another healthy baby, and name him Thomas, and take good care of him this time. I was dumbfounded. Then he casually started talking about his wedding next month, and how he needs me and my husband in our best condition, because he needs us at the wedding. Basically talking about how his in-laws are upper middle class, and how everything needs to be perfect. I lost it when he told me to stop ignoring this event and host the guests. His in-laws, with smiles and greetings. I told him I wasn't planning on attending, because I'm still grieving my son, and will only ruin their good time and perfect wedding. He got upset with my response, and he said he'd get his mom to talk to me about it. Last night, while his fiancée was talking to me like she does every week, and I told her about my conversation with my brother-in-law and what he told me, and told her I may not be able to attend. She sounded upset with my brother-in-law and apologized to me on his behalf. The next day, my brother-in-law showed up and berated me, saying he had a huge argument with his fiancée after I told her what he said, and said that I was being bitter and disrespectful. He said his fiancée is now refusing to talk to him and is upset, and I might have ruined it for him. He left after we argued, and his mom sent me a text telling me that I wasn't in the right to run to his fiancée and get her involved and cause issues. I ended up telling them I wasn't going to attend the wedding after they said I tried to ruin it, and we haven't talked since then. I feel so hurt and unable to think straight. I was just expressing my hurt feelings and how inappropriate he was being. The fact that your in-laws care more about their wedding than the loss of your baby is ducking disgraceful. You want to talk about proper decorum. That is not how you go about it. You don't need these awful people in your life telling you hurtful crap to manipulate you to bending over backwards for them and their needs. Duck them, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Your brother-in-law was being an insensitive, self-centered jerk, and his fiancée had every right to know he was acting that way about their wedding. If she understands you not wanting to attend the wedding because you're grieving, then good. She's a normal human. No one should guilt you into forcing yourself to act a certain way while you're grieving. And as to what your brother-in-law said about your son, if someone had said that to me, I would never even look at them again, let alone attend and play host at their wedding. My older sister Angie and me are inseparable. When we were younger, we'd play together all the time, tell each other our secrets. If one of us got in trouble, the other would take the blame. We would do each other's homework, and she's partly the reason why I've got an A+ on my math exam. She is married to a man named Liam, and together they have 5 children. Angie is working all the time, and because Liam does not have a job, he is left home to take care of their children. I mainly visit them to help Liam, and in one of those particular visits of mine, he had asked to speak to me in private. That's when he had admitted to me that he was gay, and that he has been going around in gay bars. He told me how he was only staying with Angie because of the children, and that otherwise he would have left her and went on to be with another man. I was shocked and speechless, but I've told him that I wouldn't tell anyone, and he called me the best brother-in-law ever. But in the end, questions of infidelity came since he did tell me he was going out in gay bars, and there was a possibility he was sleeping with other men, so I decided it was best if I told Angie about his homosexuality after all. When I told Angie about it, she and Liam had a full-blown fight. She kicked him out of their house and is currently filing for a divorce. I've tried messaging Liam, but he keeps telling me how I violated his privacy, and that I was a huge jerk for telling Angie, but Angie thanked me for it, and told me that it was a good thing that I didn't hide anything from her. Angie and I still have the same relationship as we did before, but I still think that I might be the a-hole in this situation. Am I the a-hole? Honestly, Liam is the a-hole for confiding the cheating specifically to his wife's brother, and said not to tell anyone. It kind of makes me think Liam was too scared to tell her directly, and maybe thought it would be better coming from someone else. I don't know, but it's not cool living a double life and not being honest with your spouse. Not the a-hole. You 100% made the right decision. He was either cheating or working his way to cheating on your sister. Yes, you have destroyed your relationship with your soon-to-be ex-brother-in-law, but that's a small price to pay for protecting your sister. Very much not the a-hole. He's being blatantly dishonest to his marriage and should have confided in a therapist if he truly wanted privacy for the matter. I understand that you telling your sister added stress to both of their lives and yours, but him getting upset is a scapegoat to deter from his dishonesty and infidelity. You didn't cheat. He did. You didn't lie. He did. Do something nice for your sister when you can, because she's definitely hurting.